ready.
Man, that is going to be a slobber knocker of a game right there.
In all my time, I don't remember somebody scoring 4.
Yeah, it's funny. I use the word jetapult. It's actually a word. People don't realize it.
Right. Good try. No soup for you.
Say, go get you some wax beans and
soup for the deli, I know.
yeah, go get you some wax beans and have a good day, man. First downs for Central Clay for 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. Roll call with a spidget.
Roll call, a spidget.
Spidget.
A spidget.
You got to stand up and
Who's that, Brian?
That's Harry Carey.
Harry Carey, man. Unbelievable, Harry Carey.
I tell you, the first time I ever saw him do that in person, man, that was a lot of fun. It was amazing. Yeah, him hanging out of that window, just it was great.
Unbelievable. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sports Chat with Neal and Wally. Of course, you don't see Neal over here on my left. That's our legendary Brian Meadows, who was a Major League Baseball pitcher. There he is on the screen right there. He played for the Padres and Orioles and Pirates, Rays, and the Florida Marlins. And we're going to get to talk to Brian during this show about his career. And we also are going to have Matt Greer, who was also a Major League Baseball player for the Twins, Dodgers, and the Cubbies. And he's going to call in at 6:30. So we're going to have a great program. And again, Brian, thank you so much for coming on today, man.
Well, thanks, buddy. I'm glad you finally asked me to come on the show with you.
Well, we've only been doing this, for 2 years?
Well,
and it takes Neal to go snow skiing to get you on here. How's that sound?
You know what? Maybe I just can't compete with Neal. I can hang with you, just not Neal.
I know, and James was supposed to be on the show with us, and right at the last minute, he's got to go catch for Hannah. So
yeah, that sounds a little.
Yeah, that does sound a little fit. Oh, James did a good job when he was with us. But before we get started, I wanted to call out some of our sponsors who sponsor our show, and we thank you so much. And Old Barn Restaurant, Turner Mowing, Alabama Real Estate Connection, Charles Henderson Athletic Foundation, Southern Animal Hospital and Pet Resort, Crease Agency, Pig Cafe, Deep South Apparel, it's Pete Van Horn. Hey, these nice shirts.
He does a good job, yeah.
Yeah, look at these nice shirts. Sports Chat with Neal and Wally. So, Pete, thank you so much. Glow, we're going to thank Troy Bank and Trust, Roadmark, Mama Goldberg's, Pike County Ford, Stone Cold Heating and Cooling, call old Matt Johnson, Preston's, Troy Eye Care, Marco's Pizza, Southern Roots Restaurant, and then we will call out the rest of them during our show. So I wanted just to cover a few things before we get kicked off this afternoon. Number one is our March Madness, and Neal's been talking about this the last couple of weeks. Once the teams are set, we're going to have it up on our internet, and you'll be able to log in and play the March Madness. Preston's Steakhouse is donating a $25 gift card, Brian. And also, Alabama Real Estate Connection is going to give a nice cooler. Neal and I have seen those already. So the winner, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's either going to be me or Blake. Blake's all in.
Blake's pretty good, but, I mean, you know who he's going to go with.
Oh,
he's
going to
go with one team all the way through.
Oh,
and,
I know.
But that's fun, man. I used to love doing the brackets, and it makes for a lot of fun.
It does. Has a good time. So we'll get that out on the internet next couple weeks so everybody can be able to play. And then on May 11th, my favorite thing, May 11th, Neal and I are taking our show live to the Houston County Farm Center, which is actually, it's going to be at the National Peanut Festival in building number 3. It's going to be the Continental All-Star Fanfare wrestling event. And, man, I'm pumped. I know Neal is a little bit, but we're going to work on our promo commercial next week, and I cannot wait to send that out. It's going to be great. But what we're asking, we're going to be able to interview some of our old fun wrestlers, Bullet Bob and Tennessee Stud, Jake Snake, Lord Humongous. All these guys are going to be down there, but what we're wanting is to take a caravan of folks there, and our show's going to be live, and you're going to actually get to be in the audience. Instead of just seeing it on TV, you'll be there in the audience. And
are you going to do any kind of displays with them? Show me this move.
I don't know about that. We're still hashing out things. There's a lot of people that will be attending. The last couple ones we've been to, it's a lot of folks. But
Well, it takes you back to your childhood, man. I mean,
it
I
does.
remember watching the old WrestleManias or the old, wrestling matches with all these guys, and just a few times I've had a chance to meet some of these guys that I remember as a kid. That it's a lot of fun.
And what's really neat, Bullet Bob Armstrong, I think, turned 82 like a couple of weeks ago. 82 years old, and that guy's still out there.
And still in probably better shape.
Than we are. Trust me. But that's going to be May 11th, and it's a couple months out. But put that on your calendar. It's going to be a red letter day, and we're going to have a good time with it. And now, Brian, we're going to talk a little bit about local sports. Again, I know you knew this is first time on the show with us. We like to really give a lot of shout-outs to our local kids that's in our catchment area, be it softball, baseball. Prime example, Griff McQuarrie, he won a tournament in Auburn this past weekend, came in first place, shot a 74, and we put that on our internet webpage. So congratulations, Griff. And I know
that's awesome.
I know his dad has been spotting at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, so he's got to follow a couple people and do the spotting. And I got so tickled at Colin, man. I've never laughed so hard. My favorite golfer is Tommy Fleetwood. That's the guy with the long hair. No, I love him, man. He's good.
Well, who was the one that you got hit at a golf tournament?
Yeah, I got hit at a golf tournament. That was John Daly. No, it was Greg Norman that hit me in the head.
Okay.
Neal said, "No, don't worry, Wally. Everything's going to be good. These are professionals." The first tee, and I get hit. Yeah, I was like, Neal, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Colin texted me and said that Tommy Fleetwood played like Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. He had a bad round Saturday. But anyway, it had a great time. I know he did. All right, now let's talk a little bit. Again, Matt's going to cost about 6:30, so our show's going to be tight on time tonight. We also got Coach Whidden, Charles Simpson High School baseball coach, that's going to come. He's going to bring, I think, a couple players with him. They have been in Beauregard, Alabama, helping with the cleanup effort. They went early this morning, but the Trojans been on a real hot streak lately. I got to call both of those games yesterday at Hogan's Hole. So he's going to come on at the very end and just talk a little bit about what his kids did there in Beauregard, Alabama, and the cleanup effort. Of course, everybody knows President Trump was there this past Friday. So hearts and prayers are still in all those people down there. That was a travesty.
It's terrible. It's something that it should just never happen, but unfortunately it does. Yeah. It was terrible.
It was. All right, I tell you what, Dave said we're up against the break, so we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to start talking a little bit about the Goshen boys and Goshen girls baseball and softball. Be right back.
Doing in the surgery room at Southern Animal Hospital Pet Resort. I'm about to circumcise this dog. Man, don't circumcise that dog. Let Dr. Steve Barron help you with the spade and neuter process. Give him a call. Southern Animal Pet Hospital Resort, 770-1838. You got to be a medical professional and board certified to perform these kind of dog procedures on surgery. Give him a call. Southern Animal Pet Hospital Resort. Man, what's that noise? What are you doing with that air conditioner heating unit?
Neal, my air conditioner went out last night, and I tell you what, I watch YouTube, and I know how to do all this stuff now.
Look, Wally, this could be really dangerous, man. You need to call Matt Johnson with Stone Cold Heating and Cooling, 268-0917. Licensed, insured, and bonded. You need to call Matt Johnson, Wally.
Hey, Neal, what does this red thing do?
Don't pull on the red wire. That could be dangerous, man. What'd you do? Don't pull on that red wire. Good gravy. Now you've done it. Call Matt Johnson with Stone Cold Heating and Cooling.
Hey. Mr. Neal, is this the crazy guy that does the sports show with you?
Yes, it is. Wally, what are you doing up here at Globe? How long has he been up here?
He's been up here for like an hour, and he hasn't moved, and he's scaring all the customers.
Holly, I know you said you were going to Globe to get Holly a birthday present, but you're taking this a little bit to extremes, don't you think? Acting like a mannequin? We're going to have to call the law. Come to Globe for all your needs. Up on the square. Globe Boutique.
Hey, Neal, how are you Okay.
I'm good. I want some of these chicken nuggets. Well, I want them down here at Crows and Brundage. Wally, what are you doing in the kitchen at Crows and Brundage?
Oh man, I'm trying to steal the secret sauce recipe.
Man, they're not going to give you the secret sauce recipe. Put that sauce back. Patsy, now he's got the sauce. Unbelievable. Come see them at Crows and Brundage. Hey, they got fried okra, catfish on Friday nights, wings, honey barbecue wings, any kind of wings, and the best chicken nuggets in the world. Come see them. Crows and Brundage. Thank you. Hey, Neal, man, what are you doing up here at Health Actions on the traction machine?
Oh, man.
Man, it says it's stretching you.
Hey, well, I'm trying to get about 2 inches more taller, Neal.
Man, this is not to get taller. This is for people with back pain. They try to decompress the spine. It helps your back pain, your lower back pain. It's an incredible piece of machinery up here at Health Actions, and you're in here trying to use it to get taller? Are you serious? Are you kidding? Oh, the bell's for it. That means it hurts. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Who's that?
Alabama.
That's Alabama, man. Cheap seats. Well, yeah,
Just throw that thing, man.
we get it. Yeah, you put me in cheap seats when I came and saw you.
Yeah,
at,
whatever. Yeah,
Rollins.
you know what? Any better than you've been in the dugout.
Oh my goodness, folks! Brian let me come to see him pitch when he was at Florida Marlins. I was all pumped. Pitched against Mark McGuire, and he puts us in some of the best seats.
Oh,
in
you
the house.
you were right behind home plate.
And I got up to get a hot dog, and Mark McGuire hit a foul ball, hit the chair. I mean, just right up over the net and hit the chair. I could have had it. I could have had it.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't have got that hot dog, man. You would have had a ball.
Oh man, we had it. Well, at
You
least,
just
at least
got
you're still
that.
wearing my shirt.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a good thing.
I kind of have to, man. You won't
Hey.
give me any money for this, but
Yeah,
give me a free
yeah.
shirt out of it. This
Hey,
is the long sleeve, man. A lot of folks have asked me about, hey, where'd you get the long sleeve Wally shirt?
Well, the story behind the fish, and that's what I'm real famous for.
I'm just glad that you're finally going to say this to everyone,
Oh, my
so we all can just clear this. And,
Okay, we're gonna get this out right now.
Yeah,
Sports
let's
Chat,
go.
Neal and
All the
Wally.
lawyers, I hope they're
Yeah.
listening right now.
Okay, Brian, when he grew up, he had a piranha fish at his house, a real live piranha. That
Had the
thing
tank.
had the tank. It lived be what 20 something
that
years
thing
old.
was old, yeah.
And
Yeah,
my
it
brother
was old.
Chris, which is good friends with you, was always scared of that piranha. So when I started my folk art, I had a Brian Meadows piranha fish. And my piranha fish had the teeth on it, so that's what I call it, the Brian Meadows piranha fish. Well, I do a shirt, and Brian says, "Where's my royalties at?" I'm like, "Royalties?"
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're saying my name. You're using my fish. You're talking about my career, and I said, hold on, I've never signed legal papers on this, but
Well, you got a free shirt.
I got a couple free shirts. I'm okay with it.
Oh yeah. So, but everybody knows it's Brian Meadows piranha.
And you
fish.
got some advice that hey,
Yeah, you might want to take it.
you were told, hey,
Yeah.
did he sign that?
He said yeah, one of my judge friends, he said, well, did you get his permission? I was like, well, he's my neighbor, man. He goes, no. He says, if you use his name for any money, financial gain, you have to have
Well, I tell you what, it'll be a sad day if I sue you over a fish.
over
So,
fish.
yeah.
There you go. But anyway, yeah, it is cool.
Yeah,
Cool
I
shirt.
mean, I like the long sleeve, man. I love this.
Hey, and your mama has the first original in oil. You know that. don't
Okay.
you?
Well, yeah, you know what? I think she actually still has that fish. You know that fish bit her on the finger one time.
That she told me that.
Yeah.
That is cool. But that thing lived what 20 years?
It
ago?
was old fish.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, let's get on to some local sports. We're going to talk about Goshen this weekend. Brian, they were at the Squadron round robin over in Highland Home.
Mm-hmm.
The boys beat Pike County and McKenzie. They had hits by Danny Cooper, Carson Williams, McGuire Stanley, Caleb Gamble, Logan Boyce, and Bryce Williams. And also on Tuesday night, Goshen had a doubleheader against Daleville, and they won both games. And Bryce Williams, he pitched, check this out, 4 innings, no hits, 10 Ks, brother.
10 Ks?
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's hard to do.
That's hard to do. It sure is.
What year is he?
I want to say Bryce is a sophomore, but he
Yeah, that's 4 innings, 10 strikeouts. Yeah, that's good.
big time. And then the Goshen girls softball, they lost to Wicksburg this weekend 4-3, and the Pleasant Home 6-5. And on down the road from us, New Brockton boys, they were led by Bailey Blackman with a home run and a double against Lou Byrne, beat them 5-4. And also, we can go on to Charles Henderson softball. They had a great weekend. Junior high school, Brian, they finished second in the Wicksburg tournament. And the JV beat Kinston 18-3. Some dingers right here for Dakota Berry. Her first home run was Friday night. And then Thursday night, they beat Slocum, the high school girls, 11-5. And our neighbor up the street, Madison Stewart, had a dinger, so she popped one out.
That's awesome.
So Coach Robin and them,
so he's got some good young talent that'll be there in a couple of years.
They sure do.
That's good.
And then talk a little bit about Charles Henderson High School. I was there calling both games, and if you want to go back and review it, it was TC2, and you can see it also on our Facebook page. But they beat Dale County 22-0, bro. 22, you talking about that's a shellacking.
Well, I tell you, and you know what? That's not fun for either side on that one.
No.
You know, I mean, it's I've been on both ends of those, and it's not fun. And you know, those are the games that you just try to get them over with and get it behind you and start over. But the next game was a little closer.
Yeah,
right?
it was. It was against Luverne, and Luverne, man, it was a tight game, but it was a lot of excitement there at the end when Brock Huner in the last inning hit a double and knocked in 2 runs to win the game. So that was pretty good.
That's good. Clutch hit.
But talking about Brock now, we did a little research on Brock. I pulled the stats. The last 3 games of Charles Henderson. Listen to these stats here. Brock was 6 for 8 with 7 runs scored. Got on base 11 out of 13 at bats. Pitched a complete game Saturday, allowed 4 runs, and 3 of those were earned. He struck out 7 while walking none. After the second inning, he retired the next 15 batters in a row. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good week
so,
right there.
After our pick, without hands down, Brock Huner is going to be our Marco's Player of the Week. So Brock,
doing it on the mound and at the bat.
Yeah, mound at the bat.
Every time he gets up, he gets on. That's
heck yeah, man. That's
the kind
strong.
of spark
man.
any team needs.
Yeah, we missed that pitching last year. You know, he had slid in the third base and broke his leg, so he didn't get to play last year. But also some other people that was on that team that extremely played extremely well. Anthony Gerber, he pitched against the Dale County, and then had some young Billy Jeffcoat's son came in, and I guess got the save. He pitched the last inning. Would that be considered?
There's some good players on that Charles Henderson team, and even coming up through middle school and stuff. They have, you know, this town's always been a baseball town, and they have the talent. You know, it's just getting everything to click at the right time. But you know what? I wouldn't be worried about it. I think they're a good team, and they're only going to get better.
Heck yeah! And right now the Trojans are 10-3, and again they got a lot of leadership. You know, Lawson Scarborough, he's been extremely popping it at the plate, clutch hitting.
And they're going to start their area games.
Yeah, they got
soon,
the
right?
area games coming soon, and I know Coach Whidden will talk about that when he gets here. But I know they're going to be going up to Fort Payne. Speaking of Alabama, Fort Payne for that spring fling tournament.
Okay, so they're going to do that tournament.
They can do that.
Well, they did that last year, right? They didn't.
No, we had the tournament here last year.
They used to go to Orange Beach. Okay.
Yeah, when Coach Irons here, they always went to the beach for sure. They went to the beach, and then also Pike Lib. They went and played in that border tournament down in Georgia, and I know I don't have the stats for those 2 games, but I think they won 1 and lost 1, but they got to play some quality teams. I know Coach Ponder was here last week, Brian, and he was talking about we're really ready to start playing some real quality teams.
Well, they have some very good players on that team, and I know one in particular with Drew Nelson. I mean that kid's good. He can pitch. He can play it all. He's just an athlete.
And moving on over to Zion Chapel, I know Zion lost to Ayrton on Tuesday night, and they also lost to New Brockton. So Zion Chapel struggling a little bit. I know the JV team, I think they're right at 500, and Noah's helped coaching the JV team, and they actually picked up. Now check this out. On the 21st of March, they're coming to play in Hogan's Hole JV. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I know it'd be neat. Him coaching against Sam Kitchens, because he loved Sam Kitchens.
Oh, everyone does. I mean, if you've been on a baseball field anywhere around Troy in the last 40 years, you know who Sam Kitchens is, and it's that man's done a lot for this city and a lot for that sport. And I played for him, I played against him, and I'd do anything for Sam. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Sam has got a field named after him. And I'll tell you what. We're just so blessed to have such a good tradition of baseball here in the city of Troy and elsewhere. Brantley. I know Brantley's won a couple of state championships in baseball, and I mean, good gracious.
I love seeing the smaller schools that are putting together some very good teams. I know you talked about Ayrton with Jonathan out there coaching, and there's athletes all over. I wish we could get them all into one big school, it's fun. I enjoy watching these schools play.
Now you were heck when you played rec ball back in the day, now wasn't
Oh, I love some rec ball now, but that was other than high school, that's all we had. We didn't play travel ball growing up, or American Legion was only for college age players.
Back then.
You played summer league, and then you went into your tournament, and once that was over with, baseball was over with until the next year or when high school started. But we also played up until we were, 18 years old in summer league and recreation.
Well,
baseball.
I remember when you got drafted, and I think you told me this before. You had committed that you were going to play in some tournament.
Well, I was going
for Dixie.
Well, you have your different organizations around the country. We in the South mostly play Dixie baseball. You might have Babe Ruth. You might have a few other, the PAL League or the Police Athletic Leagues in some places. But there for a while, they used to get together and they would say, okay, all the Southeast that plays Dixie, they would pick, I believe it was 20 players. So anyone that age group that played in Dixie baseball, you formed your own tournament team and you were Dixie. And we went to Indiana one year and played, and we went to Michigan the next year and played. And, so I was lucky enough to get on both of those. But, yeah, I got drafted, and I told my scout, I said, listen, I'd love to sign, but I've already made the commitment to play for Dixie. So when I get back, then we'll sit down and take care of all the paperwork. But, I actually got to play with a lot of the guys that I played against up there, and some that I played with. I actually played with at the professional level, and some of them at the major league level. Because Josh Booty was my teammate for 2 years, and Josh was the first round draft pick the year that I got drafted, when I was the third.
It's neat, and I know when we get back from the next commercial break, I want to talk a little bit about your career. But I just remember, my younger brother Chris, which y'all are real good friends. He caught you in high school, and he was on Charles Henderson High School team with you. But it was so amazing to go see y'all play, and I have never in my life seen so many scouts that were there at the games shooting you on the gun. What was that like?
Well, you know what? At first it was a little nerve-wracking because you try to – the biggest problem I know a lot of young players have, if they make a good pitch and they try to make a better pitch, that's when they get in trouble. So I felt like I had to do more than I normally would. And once the game starts, though, you kind of don't really see anyone in the stands. And, I had Coach Goodson at the time, Jerry Goodson in Ayrton, and he did a good job of calming me down and saying, hey, listen, don't worry about them. Just pitch your game and, just go out there and have fun. And that's what it all boiled down to.
I mean, sometimes it was like maybe 30 people out there.
Oh, it was.
I mean, it was just so crazy. And now, Brian, which, a lot of kids that want to go to that next level, they go to all these show camps.
Yeah.
So a lot of scouts are there. So it takes away from, I guess, the word I'm trying to use, the spunk of actually going to a high school game and seeing scouts with a gun. You know
what? That type is just. I hate to say it's dying out, but that generation of the scouts and going out finding the next young talent that are sitting there with a radar gun. you just don't see it as much as you used to, and but it was a lot of fun to get there, and because I got to the point where I was used to it, but some of these other schools would come in and they'd see it, and I could use that to my advantage a little bit. But it was fun. I enjoyed it, and
that's great. And we're going to talk about that and your career right when we get back from this next commercial break.
Roughing the kicker. Roughing the kicker. What kind of call is that? You can't see nothing.
Yeah, I can't throw a football flag in a basketball game.
Yeah, I can.
You need to go get your eyes checked, like for real check.
Where at?
Troy Eye Care, 566-7172. Troy Eye Care on Highway 87. Don't be calling basketball unless you get your eyes checked.
Well, hey there, Mr. Wally. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good. How'd you get in here?
I better not tell you.
Uh-oh.
They don't even open till 4. Well, I'm waiting to hear Mr. Winnie Traver play, and I'm going to give him one of these bad boy steaks that they won an award for. Best steak in the States. Also, best catfish awards a couple years in a row. Hey, my personal favorite is the fried shrimp and the cheese grits. Also, not mentioning the cheese biscuits that come out before the meal. You're going to love that. I know. And a little live music, like you said, Mr. Lenny Traver, you can't beat it down at the Old Barn in Goshen, Alabama. Come see them.
Come see us.
Man, what in the world? You just dang T-bone me right here. What in the heck? Playing with fidget spinner?
Wally, did you have a wreck?
Mr. Wally?
Man, this girl right here playing with this fidget spinner, texting on the phone and T-bone me right here in the parking lot. I was about to go pay my speeding ticket.
Right here at the police station?
Yeah.
Well, luckily at the police station, we can just call All-Star Collision 808-8822. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm sorry. Can I have the fidget spinner back?
Yeah, you can
Please,
have it.
Mr. Wally.
All
Thank
she's
you.
worried about is a fidget spinner. Call All-Star Collision for all your accidents. 808-8822.
You can't, don't it?
Oh, Wally, what are you doing back here?
Oh,
I'm steaming the sandwich.
That thing's hot now.
Yeah, I can tell.
Hey, they serve hot steam sub sandwiches here at Mama Goldberg's in Troy, Alabama. And you will burn yourself on that steam. Hey, they got Rice Krispie treats, double doozy chocolate chip cookies, regular chocolate chip cookies, cakes in a cup, chili, potato soup, you name it. Great atmosphere. They have bands on Thursday nights. Come see them at Mama Goldberg's for a hot steam sandwich, Wally.
I can tell you.
Troy, Alabama. Come see them.
Moving on up to the big time.
What's going on, Monopoly man?
Oh man, Neal,
You got money going everywhere.
I have bought up every bit of Troy, Alabama, but I'm missing a few spots right down here. Who can I call?
Man, you need to call Toby and Dina Adams at the Alabama Real Estate Connection. They'll let you finish buying all of Troy and Pike County. They're the best agents in town. They will work the hardest to get you the best deal. Give them a call, 566-4765. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Hey, they're dealing at the Alabama Real Estate.
Clanger. The sad old song.
Who's that?
come on, that's Bo Cephas, man.
Bo Cephas.
Naughty.
And you've been with Bo Cephas a lot, haven't you?
Well, we had some fun times, man. I met him, actually through William Johnson, a mutual friend, and has some good times out with him.
Oh yeah, I guess being a celebrity like yourself, I mean, you get to see a lot of celebrities on it.
You meet a lot of those guys, and or the women, the actresses, singers, and it got to the point where they saw us as similar to them in the fact that there was no danger. We didn't want something from them, so they could just be themselves, and it was fun.
What did you tell us that you were in the bullpen warming up or something, and the guy from Pearl Jam was out there getting we were in Chicago at Wrigley playing the Cubbies, and I just remember because you always see people during batting practice and they might have a Cubs jersey on, which was weird. I mean, we're out there, we're all in Pirates uniforms, and you got one guy in a Cubs uniform that cannot catch a fly ball, and we're telling some people, are like, listen, man, you got to get that kid out of here because he looked like a kid from where we were. So you got to get that guy out of here. He's going to get himself hurt. And ended up, I noticed one of our pitchers was hanging out with him and talking to him, and so I go over there, and it was Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, and I'm just going, man, listen, you can sing, you can play, but you're terrible on this field. And he thought it was kind of funny, and he joked with us and laughed, and
sign some autographs. But it was. That's the
cool.
fun part, is really never knowing who you're going to run into. I almost ran into Bo Jackson one night. That was the one that kind of threw me off. I opened the door to walk in.
Who's Bo Jackson?
He's some guy I used to play, a couple sports here. He's just still mad. You're an Alabama fan. You're just mad he didn't go there. That's it.
So you got to see.
It was it's fun. I enjoyed meeting some of those people.
Well, Brian, let's talk just a little bit about your career. Again,
right.
you started off in 1998, and then you finished up in 2006. One impressive stat that I just love seeing, and I talk to people about when they ask me, do I know you? You finished up with 454 strikeouts. That's a lot of strikeouts, man.
It was.
We'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, everyone loves a good strikeout. I was trying a lot of it, man. I couldn't. I don't know a lot of these numbers if you're not up here reading them to me. But
well, let me read you off some folks you have struck out.
All right.
And tell me if you know any of these. Cal Ripken, Chipper Jones, Tony Gwynn, Ricky Henderson, Ortez.
Big David, David Ortiz.
Big David Ortez. Good gracious, man. I mean, what's it feel when you're on that mound and hey, I'm pitching against a guy that's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, with Cal Ripken Jr., I'll never forget him. The day that the first time I ever faced him, the day they told me, before the game, they said, hey, just going to tell you made the Major League team. Here I am, 22. And at that point, I couldn't think of anything else. They said, we want you to pitch one inning today, and I go in, and the first batter I faced is Cal Ripken Jr., and all I could think was, please don't hit this man. But it was a lot of fun to stand on the mound and pitch to them. Whether or not they hit it or not, it was still fun to face them. And to be honest with you, being in the National League all those years, if I ever got on base, it was fun to stand there and talk with Mark McGuire or Mark Grace or Chipper. Chipper kind of tore me up throughout my career, so one or two strikeouts, I think he owed me that.
Did he? Well, what about now? Another one of my favorite pitchers besides you was Randy Johnson. Now, didn't you have to bat?
I had to hit off of him once.
Did he spit tobacco juice on you? He
always
had a big dip,
I was just scared to death of him, man. He's 6'10". He throws 100. He's ugly as all get out. And I just could not. I just did not want. It's like in the movie Little Big League. I stood in the very back corner of the box, and he just scared me to death. By the time he let go of the ball, he felt like he was right on top of it.
Well, let me have one question I wanted to ask you, and again, we get a lot of teenagers and little kids, which we have a big rec department. I know they love seeing you around Troy Recreation Department. How has the Major League Baseball organization changed since you've left compared to it now?
There's been the biggest changes, Wally,
well, let's see if this is another Major League Baseball player.
All right.
Hey, welcome to Sports Chat with Neal and Wally. Who we have here?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brian Meadows.
Who might this be?
Matt Guerrier.
Matt Guerrier. There he is on TV right there. You can't see it, Matt, but you're pitching with the Minnesota Twins right there.
Look at that.
Listen, we tried to find. I wanted to get the picture where you dyed your hair white, but I couldn't find it. So
I've contacted the internet and made sure that thing.
Either that or your most interesting man commercial. I figured we'd go with one in uniform though.
Oh my God.
That's a special one that you'll have to.
Yeah, we'll show that between next commercial break or something.
Oh my goodness. Well, Matt, I wanted to tell the viewing audience you played for the Twins, Dodgers, and Cubs, and you also played with the Twins in a couple of their playoff games. And the reason that we asked you to come on, you and Brian are real close friends. How did y'all meet each other, by the way?
Well, that's kind of a funny story. I guess in 2002, I was with the White Sox in the minor leagues and got traded to the Pirates with about 2 or 3 days left in spring training. And so I went immediately from Tucson, Arizona to Pirate City, Bradenton, Florida, and I check in, and they say, well, guess what? You're gonna have your own room because there's only a couple days left. So perfect. So I check in, get to the Pirate City room, which is like a dorm room or something, and sitting there. And next thing you know, about 2 hours later, someone comes strolling in the door, and it's Brian, and I'm like, hey.
Be honest now. Yeah, be honest, because I can tell the same story too.
He tells it a lot different than I do, because I was surprised that there was somebody in there. So I said, hey, how's it going?
He said, hey, who are you? What are you doing in this room?
I'm Matt Greer, and what's your name? And
I led the minors in wins last year. I need my own room.
Oh my goodness.
That's how we first met, and then we both went to Nashville and played in AAA for the Pirates that year, and we had separate apartments going into that year. But by the first month, we were kind of hanging out every night together in Nashville and on the road. And soon after that, somebody else picked up my apartment, and I moved in with Brian, and we were roommates from that year and the year after.
Yeah, and then I mean it's my wife introduced Matt to his wife, and it's just been a friendship that's gone on since 2002. We played together in AAA. We were never teammates at the major league level, but we played against each other at the major league. It was a lot of fun. I taught him how to throw a few pitches that much like you and your piranha, I never got any credit from Matt. But
what was your favorite pitch, Matt?
My best pitch was probably a curveball or slider. I was a little bit of a junk baller, so I could throw it kind of any count in any situation, and was pretty confident with it. So that's those two kind of allowed me to stick around as long as I could. But the other, I was going to say, the funny thing with Brian is he used to claim that he carried me longer than my mama did.
That's
about right.
Because you played right at 10 years, correct? From 2004 to 14?
Yes, just short of 10 years.
All right, and Brian did tell me he hit a grand slam off of you. Was that true, or was that?
I don't quite remember. I can't say I remember every scenario that I pitched in the major league. I don't quite remember that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have stepped into the box against Matt. We probably both would have been laughing.
Oh, man. Well, one quick thing, Matt, real quick. Now, you're coaching at Briarwood Christian up in Birmingham, correct?
Yes, sir.
How's their team doing this year?
We're going through a little rough patch. We lost about 2 or 3 guys to injury early on the season that were kind of big, important parts of our team, and so we're battling. We have not won a game yet, so it's been rough, but it doesn't. This next week's going to be tough for us too. We got an Oak Mountain team that's really good with some Division I commits, and Mountain Brook's got a kid that's possibly getting drafted. So those are going to be some tough games. And then next week we got our area games where we look to match up a little bit better against. But we've got those guys coming back hopefully next week, and we'll kind of get back in the swing of things. We've just had a rough go with the weather, and then a rough go with some injuries. So we'll hopefully be turning things around soon.
All right. Well, Matt, listen, I appreciate you so much calling in. I know, like I said, you and Brian were real close friends, and y'all both played professionally together. So I appreciate you calling. We're up against a commercial break, but thank you so much for calling, and come see us sometimes, okay, buddy?
Sounds good. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Matt.
See you, Matt.
We'll be right back.
Wally, what are you doing in that Mustang GT 350 out here at Pike County Ford?
Man, I'm about to buy this sweet ride and hit 231 and put my fuzz buster on there, bro.
And you're going to need a fuzz buster in that thing. Is that a 5-speed manual shift?
Yeah, it is. 5-speed like a race car, man.
Sweet ride. Look at the clutch, everything, man. Hey, up to $5,000 more than Kelly Blue Book value on your trade-in. Come see them at Pike County Ford. They're dealing. Good morning, everybody. This is Neal from Sports Chat with Neal and Wally. It's time for my morning biscuit. I want you to look how big that biscuit is. I'm going to put this butter on that biscuit. Came from the Pig Cafe out on North 3 Notch. Go see Yanni. Get you a real biscuit. Hey, Wally.
Hey.
What you got there?
Where'd you get that biscuit at?
This is Pig Cafe on North 3 Notch. Where'd you get that?
Oh man, 231, one of those big box chain stores out there.
Man,
They even got a paper straw.
Man, look at the size of that little thing. Look at
Good
it.
gracious.
I'm about to put butter on this. Is 3 times the size of
I
that.
should have gone see Yanni.
Go to the Pig Cafe on North 3 Notch or call them for catering 334-770-0134. Get a real biscuit.
Don't want a wimpy biscuit.
Wally, where you been, man?
Neal, I've been across the street
Good
over
Lord,
there.
what are you going to do with all that?
I traveled across the street over there. The line was out the door, man. And I saw the UPS store, so I thought I'd come in here and see
Well,
if
I'm
I
glad
can
you
get
came to the UPS
UPS
store.
Let me help you with that.
Good, look at this, man. Can you help him mail all this?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Good deal.
I'll
Hey,
and everything for you.
Grade A customer service at the UPS store. Give them a call today, 566-9470. Don't go across the street. Go to the UPS store for all your copying, printing, and shipping needs.
Wally, what you got there? Hey, man, I'm fishing for sharks, dude. A cave holding wigglers? Oh, heck yeah, man. When you wear deep south apparel, you look good, you feel good, you can fish good.
Well, I got on these.
What you got? I got a big shark. Could be Charles's cousin with a cave hole.
No, Pete Van Horn, Deep South Apparel. Look for him on Facebook. Deep South Apparel. You might catch a shark. Wait a minute. Break it. Broke. The shark broke the hook. We're going to get him next time. Wally, what are you doing at Roadmart on 231 in Troy, man? What are you doing that time?
Oh, Neil, I'm going to put some 25s on this bad boy.
Oh, Lord. 25?
Yeah.
They even make 25? Hey, they can do specialty rims at Roadmart here in Troy, Alabama. They also do brake work and change your oil, anything under the hood here at Roadmart on 231. And they can even get Wally some 25s for his rim. 566-3413, Roadmart on 231.
Who's that, Brian? This is Dr. Lee Hicks' favorite band.
Sounds like Boy George.
It is.
And
Just
the
for
Culture
Dr.
Club.
Hicks, man. Well, hey, welcome back, everybody. And again, I wanted to run down a few more sponsors of our show. Severa, Ralph, Baker, Hastings, and Reeves, Crows of Brundage, All-Star Collision, Jones Medical Supply, Health Actions, the UPS Store, Hooks Barbecue, and Southern Roots Restaurant. Again, thank you so much for sponsoring our show. And we got a special guest, Brian, on the show. It's Coach Matt Whitten with the Charles Simpson High School Trojans. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. And we got 2 stellar studs back there. Why don't you go ahead and introduce them? And
I got Caden Bryant and Will Reeves.
Will Reeves. And Coach, you told me y'all had gone down to Beauregard for some cleanup efforts. Tell the viewing audience what it's like down there and the mood and all that.
It's rough right now. We talked to Coach Brown and Coach Greer, the basketball coach, and they directed us in a place to go help clean up. A couple of nonprofit organizations that are there doing a lot of cleanup work. So basically what we did was find any debris we could find and, put it in piles where they could bring skid steers in and get that stuff out, and remove some trees that were snapped in half and things like that. But spirits in good shape, a lot of positive attitudes. Everybody's kind of getting back to some normalcy, which is nice to see. But we were blessed to be able to go down and help and just give back to people who need it right now.
Mm-hmm. That is good. So you said that the mood's getting a little better, I assume, because
it is.
It's been, what, a week now?
A week, yes, sir.
A week. Are you seeing a lot of other groups and organizations down there helping at this time? Or?
Yeah, obviously FEMA's there, Red Cross, Samaritan's Purse. There's a bunch of different organizations that are there in different locations throughout Lee County, and we were fortunate enough to work with Samaritan's Purse and Red Cross and be able to give back. So.
All right.
That's good to see. Communities that are hit like that, something like the tornadoes or the hurricanes that happened not long ago, and to see people come out and help. That's good. Put everything aside and go out and help them try to get back their way of life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because we live in a part of the country where you see a lot of people that offer that helping hand on hurricanes. And
It goes a long way. You might be helping someone today, they might be helping you, and it's good to see.
And that's what I told Coach Brown. We wanted to give back. I don't think there's enough helping hands that can go help them right now. Not sure how much we helped while we were there. We did a lot while we were there, but any help is appreciated. So, like
sometimes
I said,
just showing up and saying, hey, you know, what do you need? You know, and Beauregard, I know with Charles Henderson, there's some good athletes that go to those schools, and it's fun to see it. Just like, you know, when the hurricanes or tornadoes went through Tuscaloosa to see Alabama or to see Auburn load up and go help. You know, it's just. So, you know, the games are the games, but this is life, and let's, you know, go help.
Again, that's pretty nice of y'all doing that. But turning the tables here, let's talk a little bit about Charles Henderson High School Trojans. Y'all are 10-3 on the season, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what's been going on with the team building and stuff. This is your second year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Here at Charles Henderson. Give us a little feedback on where you see your team now and what you hope to see in the future.
You know, the last couple of weeks has been a tale of how well we pitched it. We played solid defense behind, you know, the starting pitchers. Every starting pitcher is giving us a chance to win, which is their job. Go out, give us a quality start, keep us in the game, give us a chance to win. You know, and we played really good defense over the last couple of weeks, and I think the guys are starting to realize how good we can be, and the belief factors coming in. So you can see the morale change as you win a couple games, and you win a couple close ones. You feel a little bit better about it because you put two phases of the game together. And then you come out this weekend and really swing the bats well and put three phases of the game together. So, you know, we got some work to do. We need to build off what we've done over the last 2 weeks and really go into this week with a good mindset of attacking every day and getting better. So,
because y'all got Andalusia again this week. It's Tuesday night, correct?
Tuesday night.
Oh, man. If you want to talk about a great ball game, y'all come to Hogan's Hole Tuesday night because that's going to be a great game.
Yes, sir.
Do you know who you're going to pitch yet, or you don't know yet?
We don't.
We don't know.
We don't know yet. We'll discuss that tomorrow.
Well, I want to tell you, one of these kids behind me, Mr. Brian, he hit a nice dinger yesterday.
He did.
How did it feel to bust that one over the blue wall?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And Will, I told everybody on the TV, people don't realize this, but in 8th grade, I think you're the only 8th grader in history to hit one over the Blue Monster. You remember that?
Yes, sir. I think me and Chase Smart.
Chase Smart was only. And the Blue Monster is our legendary wall there at Hogan's Hole. But again, y'all come out Tuesday night because it's going to be a great game. I think JV's going to play as well, correct?
Yes, sir. They play before us at 4:30, and we'll start immediately following the JV game.
Okay, and I have heard that you will be taking the team up to Fort Payne, Alabama for the tournament up there. Do you know what teams are going to be involved in that tournament?
We'll play Fort Payne, Chattooga out of Georgia, Sylvania, and Fife. A lot of local teams there. Going to be some quality ball clubs there. So we'll, get to see some teams that we don't see on a normal basis, which is good for us, and hopefully continue to play good baseball.
Well, you're going to have to make it up to Mentone if you get it.
That's where we're staying. We're staying in Mentone.
You know, that's the only ski resort in Alabama is Mentone. You know
Mentone?
that?
I didn't know that.
And Neal, of course, he's skiing right now in Utah. Right. So he ought to stop back and go to Mentone and ski at Mentone. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Well, listen, we're up against commercial break, but again, I want to thank Coach Whiddon and some of his guys to come on the show and help Beauregard in a time of need. And again, you can see them Tuesday night at Hogan's Hole against Andalusia, and we'll be right back.
Dadgummit, man. What's going on, Wally? What's wrong with that thing? Oh, Neal, Dad, my gum, man. I can't cut grass. I can't have nothing anymore.
Is it broke? I mean,
I don't know.
I chopped it all up over there.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. What I should have done was called Blake Turner Returner Mowing at 334-465-0600, and I wouldn't be in this predicament right here.
This. Best rates in town. Call Blake Turner. He'll give you a low quote. He'll give you the best job.
Hey, Neal, what's going on, brother? What are you doing with that wood?
Oh, man, my neighbor's out of town, so I'm going to fire me up a barbecue pit here.
Wait. I don't think this is a barbecue pit.
Yeah, it is a barbecue pit. I'm hungry, man, so I'm going to make some barbecue.
Haven't I told you, call Hooks Barbecue, 808-8008, for all your barbecue needs. Go through the drive-thru, get you some ribs, get you some barbecue. What are you doing at James Sparrow's house? This is not a barbecue.
I think it's a barbecue grill.
That is not a barbecue grill. All your catering needs when your family comes home, 808-8008, Hooks Barbecue. They'll handle all your barbecue needs.
What you got, man?
Man,
What's wrong with this thing?
I done wrecked my kayak, man.
What'd you do? Run into a weather buoy out there?
Yeah, I ran into one of those
Out in the
weather
Gulf?
buoys. Yeah, I sure did, man.
Unbelievable, man. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about all this?
I don't know,
Look
man.
how cracked up it
I got to
is.
go and see that
Do you have
lake.
any insurance?
Ma'am?
Insurance?
I don't have any
He
insurance.
should have went to Crease Insurance Agency out on 231 and got him some insurance. Now he's got to pay cash money for his kayak, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does.
Listen to the beach worker right here. He's got to pay cash for his kayaks. Visit Mike Crease, the Crease Agency, the only insurance agent you'll ever need.
Hey, Neal!
Man, you all right? What have you done now?
Man, I fell off the roof, man.
What are you stapling lights up there?
Yeah, man, I'm hurt bad this time.
You back?
Yeah, I might need a cane, man.
Oh my God, a scooter too?
Yeah, they got scooters at Jason Jones' place.
And call Jason Jones, the official oxygen of all Troy. Jason Jones at Jones Medical. Go see him, give him a call. They will hook you up with all injuries, everything. Wally, you fell off this ladder?
Yeah, I did.
Jason Jones, Jones Medical. That was some good banana pudding right there. Son, Southern roots, man. That's some good food. Wally, what are you doing out there, man?
I just ran 10 miles. Come get some of this banana pudding. Did you leave me
Man,
some?
it's the best banana pudding you've ever had, man. Hey, Southern Roots, they're open Sunday through Friday for lunch. It'll be the best banana pudding you've ever had. Man, I'm glad you made it. How far did you walk?
10 miles.
Come all the way from Brundage?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go eat.
Yes, sir.
Who's that, Dave?
I gotta wait for him.
Well, I got to about run out of time.
Mellencamp.
There you go.
The
There
guy
you
with
go.
all the last name, John Cougar Mellencamp.
Hey, Dr. Hicks, I was yakking back and forth with him. He said, "Oh, we got to talk about the time that you and him got my drone out of the tree."
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, you got that thing stuck way up in the tree, and well, it started out as kind of a joke about, hey, let's try to knock it out with these golf balls or baseballs or something, and then I think after a few throws from both Lee and I, we kind of it got to be a challenge. So I mean, I'm glad it came down when it did because my arm was starting to hurt and I was getting tired.
Dr. Hicks, he had a football
we were
throwing
not,
it up
yeah,
there.
we
You had a
we,
golf ball.
We threw everything we could find, but it got to the point where I mean, if it would have taken all night, I think we would have stayed out there all night.
I was like a little kid crying. I was like, man, I just got this for Christmas. Santa Claus brought it to me, and I didn't got the thing stuck.
Was that your first one or your second
That was
one?
the first one. And then the next day, I take it up to the rec center and sink it in the dadgum Olympic pool out there.
Well, I told you to take it to the soccer fields, but you know,
I did take it to soccer fields, and it drifted off and landed in the pool.
you.
Yeah. And then I bought another one, and then I stick it at Dr. Hicks' house.
Well, you were trying to land it on my head, and next thing you know, it was 300 yards up the street in a
Yes,
tree.
it was in Lee's yard again. So thank you, Dr. Hicks and Brian, for getting my drone out.
Hey, whatever we can do, buddy.
Oh, man. Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about some of the upcoming games. I know you got your show.
Yeah, I got
there.
Zion Chapel
Where's
here.
Zion Chapel going to be playing this week?
Well, tomorrow they're going to have Kinston at home. That's JV and varsity. And then they play New Brockton Thursday and Friday. The varsity does. Thursday is actually in New Brockton, and Friday is going to be at home in Zion.
All right. And Goshen High School, the boys on 311, they're at Elba High School. And then on 312, they're at Pleasant Home. And then they're going to be going to Cottage Hill Christian Academy, where they're going to be playing 2 games that day, one at 12 and 2:30. And the Pike Liberal Arts team, Monday they're going to be at home against Autauga, and on Tuesday they're against Autauga. And then on Saturday they're going to be at Lakeside, and I guess it's going to be their Macon East tournament. Mm-hmm. So that's where they're going to be. And then we move on to Pike County Bulldogs. They only have 1 game on the agenda, and that is going to be Greenville High School, and that will be at home. And then, of course, Charles Simpson, which we just talked about, they're going to have Andalusia on Tuesday, and then Thursday Enterprise at home. So Charles Simpson's on a home stand right here. They got Andalusia, Enterprise, Stanhope, and Providence Christian all home this week for sure.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier.
All right, and then some of the softball games. Pike County girls on the 16th is going to be home against Sampson High School, and the Goshen Eagles softball is going to be playing at the Terry Collins Memorial Tournament at, looks like, Dothan High School. And then conclusions here, Charles Henderson. Girls, they're going to be playing Floyd, it looks like Floyd, Mississippi, here at Charles Henderson, and then Carroll, and then they are going on Friday and Saturday down to Strawn and playing in another tournament. So that is our recap for all our local teams that are playing.
A lot of action around.
A lot of
here.
action, but we're about almost up against time. But Brian, one other question I wanted to ask you, because again we have so many kids to play. What is one thing that if you're a young kid out there and you want to go into Major League Baseball and play at the next level, what is the number one thing that they need to be doing right now?
You know what? The biggest thing is just getting out and playing and practicing, and you know, I've heard it from a lot of people. Well, I'm just from, you know, a small town, or I'm from Troy. I grew up playing summer league baseball, and it happened to me. You know, just go out and have fun with the game and do the best you can. You got to keep practicing and getting better. But
when did you know that you were going to be playing Major League Baseball?
Well, you know, I always played it. It started out just to give me something to do for the summer. You know, that's why we all played, because, you know, we didn't have a lot else to do, so it gets you around all your friends, and, you know, I enjoyed that. The older I got, when I started getting into high school, I started to take it a little more serious because, you know, I talked to a few colleges, and, you know, I played with a team. I guess it was basically like a start of a travel ball organization. I played in a World Series, a Dixie World Series in Summer League in Texas, and I played against a team that was from Louisiana. And I got picked up to play with them, played a series, I want to say it was back in Texas, and, you know, started talking with LSU, which is where I signed to go play college. And from then on, I started going, okay, well, I can make this is a little serious than just picking up the ball and going out and playing. Yeah. You know, and then I talked to a few pro scouts, and then it started to be a few more pro scouts, and then, you know, at some point it hits you like, you know, there's a chance that somebody could pay me to play this game, and, you know, and I got the opportunity, and it was, man, it was a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I miss playing, and I miss the stadiums and the bullpens, and, you know, a lot of people ask me, do you miss the game? I think I miss the guys and the clubhouse and the flights and all that more than I miss the actual game. But, you know, if Matt was still on the phone, he could probably say the same thing. The people that you're playing against, playing with, the bullpen conversations, the things that people don't know, that's kind of what you miss the most.
One last question before we close for tonight. What was your favorite stadium to play in? And you played in some ones.
I played in about all of them. Some of the new ones I have not. The new Yankee Stadium.
But what did it feel to play in that old Yankee Stadium?
The old Yankee Stadium, man. You walk on the field, and it just had a different feeling about it. And to know that Babe Ruth played on this field, and, you know, or you walk into Fenway, and to think of who walked down those steps or who stood on that mound, and, you know, or Wrigley Field, or you fly out to, you know, L.A. and go play in Chavez Ravine. You know, it is. I played in the old Astrodome. You know,
oh yeah.
Some of those things that aren't around anymore, and it was. It's such a surreal kind of feeling, because you never think that a little guy from Troy is going to be here. But, you know, I go from Troy, Alabama, playing summer league baseball, to New York City playing in Yankee Stadium, you know, facing Derek Jeter. You know, it's just some things are just not supposed to happen.
Well, incredible.
But they happen every day. That's what I try to tell these kids, you know, too, is just keep playing, stay positive.
Well, folks, let me tell you, what a great show tonight. Again, on behalf of myself and Neil Armstrong, which is on skiing right now, spring break.
I didn't get invited.
No, I didn't either. But, Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, and I hope that the audience enjoyed it. We had a good time. Thanks, Matt, for coming, Matt Collin and Coach Matt Whitten coming. So, without further ado, we're going to close out, and we'll see you next week. Neil will be back, and stay cool.